Am I live? Am I live? I am live. Hello, hello, hello. We have a special guest in the studio today. I'm so excited. I told you that this whole week we were going to do a deep dive on strategy, positioning yourself to win, strategy. So, I emailed you the link to the studio. I'm also going to put it here so you can see it here too. Um, you can see it here too if you want. So come on into the studio, Any. I'm so excited. I have a marketing genius for you guys. He was on the show last week, and I asked him to come back just because I knew I was doing this whole deep dive on strategy for your business so we can dance into 2023. We dancing into 2023, and we talked a little bit about strategy, and strategy is different from planning. Strategy is positioning yourself how to win, and it's based on Roger Martin's book. I mean, strategy is not based on Roger Martin's book, but there's a book I read by Roger Martin, and it was talking about strategy, how to position yourself to win. And it's all about choosing what to do and why you're doing it based on, um, the win that you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? So yesterday we had a great conversation with Chanel Nielsen, and she was talking about how to get people to not just consume your content, not just listen to your content, but to actually buy from you, how to cultivate buyers in your audience rather than just consumers. And there's strategy in that, and if you're doing content, you need to have an understanding of the strategy behind doing content. Annie, are you here? I don't see you in the studio, Annie. You need to have strategy behind why you're doing what you're doing, so on and so forth. Let me see something. Okay. So you need to have a strategy behind what you're doing and so on and so forth. And again, it's positioning yourself to win, and you can win. So my name is Aya. I'm a business success catalyst. I'm also a parent, and I coach parentpreneurs to consistent 5-figure months. Right. And why? Why? It's not, why do we work? Why do we have businesses? Why do we do anything? So we can provide a life for our family and actually have time to be mommy and daddy and not be going here, there, and everywhere, but you can actually be mommy and daddy. And that's so important. Or whoever, any hands-on parent. So I've actually ran across some grandparents who are actively taking care of their grandchildren for whatever reason. So they're parents again. If you could be an aunt or an uncle and you're a parent again, so whoever is hands-on taking care of children and also building a business or managing a business or having multiple businesses, it's not easy. And what you really want is not to be a slave to your business. Nobody wants to be a slave to their business. What you really want is to leverage your business, have an effective business, have a sustainable business, have a business that's automated, have a business that is selling well, have a business that's marketed well, so you can get on about the business of doing life, right? So that's what's really important. So you can get on to the business about doing life. This is a really important episode. If I were you, I would be watching. I'm going to ask you to invite people. Please invite someone that you know has a business. Please invite someone that's looking to monetize their personal brand. Please invite someone, like right now. Stop what you're doing, invite them, put their name in the thing, and we're going to do a deep dive on how to create a winning marketing strategy for 2023. How. We all know that, well, actually, some of us don't know that we need to market, but you need to market. If you want to have a successful business, you need to have a consistent way, a consistent system of marketing to people that they know who you're about, you and your business, what it does, what it can offer, and then you can let them know what you're doing so they can even be attracted to you. No one can be even attracted to you if they don't know you. So if I don't know you, I can't even get attracted to, I can't be attracted to something that I don't know exists, right? So this is really important. This is, a lot of businesses are struggling because they don't have a an automated, consistent, effective marketing strategy. Many people are doing this, many people are doing this, many people are doing this, they're doing this, they're doing this. They don't know what they're doing. It's not systematic, and it's suffering because marketing is what's going to feed you sales, and then you close your sales and you get money, right? And you need money so you can pay your mortgage. You need money so you can pay your electricity bill. You need your energy bill. You need money so you can have a car and transport your family. All of money is so important because you need all of these things to actually, like, nobody is taking energy for payment. Do you hear me? Like, I don't care how good your vibrations are. Nobody is using that as currency in the US, in the world system right now. When they do, let me know, because I have great energy. Let me know. But until then, they're using pound sterling, they're using euro, they're using yen, they're using the peso, naira, they're using Bitcoin, they're using dollar, they're using, listen, they're using currency. So we need to, so currency is converted to that nice house that you have, a vehicle, food, clothing, and education, investments, retiring. So all of this is related and very important. So I'm going to bring Annie on, and I'm going to be, take notes, invite somebody, take notes, invite somebody, take notes. And he's been in marketing for, I think, over 20 years, 25 years. He knows what he's talking about. Listen, take notes. He has a podcast. He helps clients, and listen for the gems. We're not going to go into like a lot of tactics unless he wants to. So there's tactics, and then there's like understanding. We want to give you an understanding today. All right. So I'm bringing Annie on. Hello.
Hello, Aya. How you doing?
And he's also from the UK. Can you tell? Can you tell that Annie's
No,
from the UK?
I'm Nigerian, but I'm a British Nigerian.
Oh, that's even better. I
Call
love
it that.
my Nigerians, my British. I listen, I'm Nigerian too, and we're colonized by the British. So I have like an affinity
Don't
for.
remind the British of that. They deny all that.
I
That's not
but
true.
I have something with. I have to. They're my people too. They're my people. Niger people are my people. The British are my
Yeah.
people. We all. I live in America. We used to be a colony of the British. I mean, the British have their handprints everywhere. Come on. So
It's true.
I love that you're here today. And I'm going to just ask you certain questions as we move this along. And if you guys have questions, I want you to put them in the comments. You're actually welcome to come into the studio, actually. You can come in to the studio. Um, and I'm going to copy it if you want to talk to any.
Yeah,
I
by all
mean,
means.
take advantage. Take advantage. But most importantly, today we're going to just talk a little bit about it. So, let's talk about, what do you think a business owner? So someone who has a business, they might have one business, they might have two, they might have three, they might have 10. What do you think? How do you think a business owner should come up with their marketing budget? Let's start there. What do you think they have to take into account when they're really coming up with their marketing budget?
Yeah, no, thanks for bringing me in. By the way, I always appreciate the chance to be seen and to see myself on screen. Yeah, it's always great. Look, I think you mentioned it earlier. Without a strategy, you don't know what you're going to spend, or you don't know what you're going to do. Marketing strategy is the basis of everything you do in marketing. So a lot of us make the mistake of just doing. I start a business, I'll just do.
Mm.
Well, then I'll just do marketing. Which marketing I'm just going to do because I'm just going to do. That's just silly. That's like saying, I want to go on holiday next year. Where are you going to go? Somewhere. What do you mean somewhere? Somewhere hot. Okay, somewhere hot. At least that's something. I'm saying, so unless you say where you want to go, are you going to go to Africa, Caribbean, Europe, the back end of Europe, Spain, those sort of hot countries? You can just keep going. You can just keep saying hot places, which means nothing. You need a strategy which is going to direct you to where you actually want to go. So once you know where you want to go, then you can start deciding, how much do I want to do? It also do
Ooh,
strategy
okay.
thing. So last time we spoke, I was very granular about almost our sales and getting our customers.
Hmm.
If anyone was here last time, I'd probably say to them today, look at last week as more like a marketing plan. Like you say, today is more about strategy, which is less granular, and it's more about an overall direction. So it's more about how you win the market. Which sector, which sector are you in? What do you want to change? How are you going to be the one that everyone goes to? The strategy says all of these things. So that's what strategy is.
Hold on, you're dropping gems because we can't go too fast. No, seriously, we can't go too fast. We can't go too fast. Let's slow it down. What did he say? He said, what is it that you want to do? How do you want? And that's what the whole thing about is positioning yourself to win. How are you going to position yourself where everybody wants to come to you in your particular industry or sector? So if you are a website designer, how are you going to position yourself in the marketplace and present yourself where everybody wants to come to you? If you're a nonprofit, how are you going to position yourself where everybody wants to send their donation money to you? So they have allocated money that they want to donate and they want to give back to the community. How are you going to position yourself above all the other nonprofits and say, hey, I'm the one you should give it to? How are you, if you have a product-based business, how are you going to position yourself in the marketplace of like, my product is the best product and this is why you should use it? All right, so let's go on. So now those are the things that you said. So I love what you said because I want you to kind of break it down, because I think sometimes when people are in business, they're not thinking big enough. They're not thinking that they have something to offer that's unique, a differentiator, and that is worth people coming to them. So how can people begin to develop that about their business? Like how should you be thinking about your business? What questions should you be asking yourself that will bring up the right answers?
Right. It's looking at strategy setting as almost like it's a game. It's your chance to dream. Like it's your chance to genuinely sit there and play the game in your head at least, or with your team. What can we do? Where are we now? Right? And where, who do we serve? And where do we want to be? You're not going to become a big business without setting that to be a big business. If what you want to be is a mom and pop shop down the road, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But at least you have to set the goal to get there. So the strategy session is where you begin to work out, okay, here's where we are, here's who we are, here's where we are, here's our superpower, is what makes us good. I just want to know what we have going for us. And then, I guess the part that many people forget in all of this is what others doing. What other people in the sector doing. Once you know your competitors' strengths, weaknesses, then you begin to know where the opportunities are. Within that, there's always, you have to bear in mind what can destroy you in a second. There's always threats for everyone. There's always threats for all our businesses. If the internet dies tomorrow, we're sunk. Most of us are sunk. Face that. If Shopify closes tomorrow, half the business, everyone on there is sunk. Think about that. Right. So now, when you start doing your strategy, that you begin to work out, okay, what are we trying to do? How big can we be?
Wait, hold on. Hey, hold on. Hey. As my people say, he said, what is your weakness? What could sink you? Did you hear what he said? He said something could change. And first of all, we know that's a fact, because I remember even like last year or 2 years ago when Facebook went down. Do you remember when Facebook and Instagram went down?
Yeah.
They went down. It wasn't even like a day, but it went down and no one knew what was going on. And it just went down. They couldn't log in. People were flipping out. They were like, oh God, my money. My money.
That's dreams down the back. That's dreams dying in front of you. That's dreams literally dying there and then.
Man, he brought up a great point about Shopify. I know a big influencer. She's a businesswoman, she's not just an influencer. She's a businesswoman and an influencer. She has multiple businesses, $1 million businesses. She's making $20 million a year, whatever. And she had a Shopify store, and she was selling. She launched a product line, and in one of her products, I think she was using CBD oil in one of her. I mean, it was like a facial product. She was using CBD oil. I don't know what happened. Shopify did not like that. Shut it down. Shut it down. Just shut it down. It was no conversation. They just shut it down.
That's it.
I mean, I was like, my gosh. And then I remember, and then I came on live. She was like, man, Shopify turned like, just like. So what he's saying, do not think that it cannot happen to you. People on LinkedIn. I've seen this on LinkedIn. I've been on LinkedIn for a few months. LinkedIn is a social media platform. I've been on LinkedIn for a few months, and I know at least 2 or 3 big time, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of followers, influencers that have been locked out by LinkedIn from their account. The account disappeared, and one of them wrote this really impassioned thing where she doesn't even talk about her business. See, this is what's so crazy. She doesn't even talk about her business. She just writes about other things, right? But she had, and it was so interesting because she had just recently wrote a post where she had said, oh, I'm making 5 times more this year than I made last year since I started writing on LinkedIn. I don't even write about my business. I don't even talk about my business, but so many people who like my post or businesses, they're attracted to me, people refer them. And I've gotten so much so she had just made this post about it. And she was just saying, and the point of the post was to say, be yourself, because you're going to attract people who want to do business with you. But remind you guys, she doesn't even write about business. She doesn't even talk about her business. They got rid of her account. It was only like 4 hours. Man, she had PTSD. She wrote about it. She was like, I have PTSD.
Yeah. It's a good point. You know, it can happen. Any platform can do it to you.
She said, I got scared. She wrote about, she said the fear that I experienced, the fear. And you know what she did after that? She's on every platform. She got her email list. She was like, it's like, because she suddenly realized she doesn't even talk about business, but she got so much business because of the exposure, and she was able to, and then that exposure gave her so much exposure, so people would reach out to her. And I mean, so what he said there, do not sleep on that. What he said there, what is the weakness of your business? What is the structural weakness of your business? Is your business an internet business? Okay, well, understand if the internet goes away, what you're going to do. Is your business a business that, are you just on one social media platform? There's nothing wrong with that, but what's your alternative? Do you also have an email list? If you have a product-based business that's on Shopify, is there a way that you can put it on Amazon too? It's just diversification. Okay, go on, Annie. Come on.
I think it's like you say, it's making sure that one, you have your customer data is yours. You have to have it off. It's not owned by the platforms. That's LinkedIn. That's Facebook. And our default is email these days because everyone's got an email address. So whatever you do, aim to get people's email addresses. The SMS is getting bigger and WhatsApp's getting bigger too. So I'm saying aim to get those. But you can't just rely on any one platform for anything. That's more talking about methods, I guess, in terms of marketing plan. Yeah, but on a strategy level, it really is a case of you can be whatever you want to be if you're willing to work for it. And it comes back to your first question: how do you know how much to spend on marketing? If you want to go big, go big. It's going to cost you money and time and effort. If it's not you, then who's going to do it? The point you made last week. People run businesses. Someone's always doing things. People have to do stuff. So you can't just, the machines can't do it all, and it doesn't run itself. So have a strategy where you know where you want to get to, and how far you're willing to spend, how much you're willing to work. If you want to go global, okay, fine. At least have a strategy to at least get it to a certain stage in the first year. in the second year? You know, by the fifth year, where do you want to be? These are all part of the process. You know, you can't just have a strategy without measuring. Is my point. Yeah, you have to have some sort of time sort of specified to actually get to where you want to get to, and then you have to monitor against that. If you're not achieving those goals, then adapt your strategy. You know, like we say, goals never change. Your strategy and your method and your plan changes. You know,
so we're talking about, first you want to consider what you want your reach to be.
Yes.
So you want to consider. So let's talk about the how to get to this strategy. What are some things to consider? And he said you want to think about, what is your reach? Do you want to have a global impact? Are you looking to have, like let's say China, there's 1 billion people in China. So if somebody just wanted to talk to Chinese people, that's enough. There's 1 billion people in India. Are you going global? Do you want to go Western? Are you going to English speaking languages? Because if you say, I want to go to global, now if my strategy is to go global, now you have a whole host of things to consider. Language, you have translation, you have different currencies. Are people able to pay you in different currencies? See, people, you have to think about your strategy first. Or are you saying, okay, like you're a local restaurant and you just want to dominate your zip code, so let's say you're a local Indian restaurant and you want to dominate the 5 zip codes. There is no point in you paying for advertising that's not very local to the 5 zip codes that you're trying to impact. Because maybe you're not trying to move, or maybe you're a restaurant and you're saying, okay, in year 5, I would like to have 10 restaurants. So maybe now I just have one little mom and pop, but in year 5, I want to have 10. How would you do that? So if you think about your exposure, what you're trying to do, that's going to help with your marketing. So like, how many times have you gone, this gets on my nerves when I go to restaurants, they don't do anything to capture your information. Restaurants wonder why they're suffering with delivery services and they have to pay Grubhub and Uber Eats 40%, 50%, Postmates, because they don't do any, like you go and get to a restaurant, they don't even ask you for anything. They barely say hi to you. They don't ask you for your email. The restaurants that are actually engaging as a brand and own their information. So let's talk about owning your information. Let's talk about owning information. So one of the things I love about Annie is that he really is technical as well as theory. So he knows a lot of technical things about digital marketing that you want the person to work. So first of all, Annie is for hire.
I am choosy who I work with, to be fair. I do something, because it helps if I have to think
Yes, he's willing to work with people in the US. All right. So, so if you want to work with him and hire him to help you to dominate your marketing, you can. But it's always great to work with someone that has a good technical sense of the back end. How can business owners own the data? What can they do to own their data?
All right. So the first thing is, if you are, if you've been in the business for a while, you have connections in different places. So you have Facebook followers, for example. You can, I say you can easily download your connections data on Facebook and begin to get the email addresses and the numbers. If you haven't, if it's not that easy, then ask your connections. Just ask them. I would like to make sure I can still contact you offline if it need ever arises. So that way, want to get you talking to your connections, which you should be doing anyway. Well, 2, they know you're actually interested in them, and in IS speak, it primes them for you being a business that sells something, rather than just being a connection and it's someone who's just there. On LinkedIn, it's quite easy to download your connections. If you go to your privacy and your data settings, just under your profile, just click on a button. They send you all your connections data. Granted, not all of them have the email addresses there, but you will know where they work, and then so listen. If you ever came to reaching out to them, you can always have another way. Begin to ask your connections for that information openly. Yeah, don't there's no point hiding. And then just be honest with them. I'm doing this because we're the slaves to all the platforms. Let's not fall out because LinkedIn decides that we can't be friends anymore. So just can I have the data, please? Another one I would say to you, use your website. Your website is your prime real estate. It's your home on it's your home on the internet. Everyone who visits your website is they're potential customers. At the moment, the mistake we make is that we let Google and Facebook own our website visitors. Let me try and explain that. So when someone comes to you from Google knows who they are. Right? Google knows the IP address, and Google knows exactly where they go and what they do. We don't, as a website owners, we don't have a clue. So literally begin to use a website as first-party data. I say that because very soon, next year, these things that we use to track people on the internet called cookies, it's how Facebook ads work, it's how Google ads work, right? They're going to disappear. It causes a panic. Everyone's panicked. And when that goes, if you think the Apple privacy settings thing destroyed marketing, wait till you see what no cookies is going to do. It means you can't retarget people. It means you can't. So if someone comes to your website and doesn't buy, you can't follow up with them because you don't know who they are. But you just can't do it through Facebook and Google anymore. The only way you can do it is by using your website to capture data. When someone comes to your website, you want to make sure that you have, this is about software, by the way. So, Solomon will know better than you and I. Everyone who comes to your website, you should have their data recorded. Some will say do it on a CRM. Some will say there's many other tools you can do it with, but you want to make sure you begin to own that information of who interacts with your business in any way whatsoever. Don't be shy. You have to ask them for the information. Who are you? How can I contact you again? So, some will give, some won't. Those, at least, if you at least begin that process, then you're beginning to think about, okay, I have something to work with. The gold dust for all of us is email, because everyone's got an email inbox, everyone. And we check email pretty much every day. If you can grab the email address, then you're halfway there. But again, email platforms go down. I mean that sincerely. And all the settings that we suffer will block emails in one way or another. Some servers block Gmail, some servers block something else. So again, if you can get a rounded view of a customer, who are they? What's their name? What's their email? What's their phone number? What's their address? It's all there and it's all capturable. It really is. No one tells us, but we just don't do it. We let Facebook do it. We let Google do it. We let LinkedIn do it. Do it for yourself. A CRM is the answer to all those questions. That's where you know who's who, where have they been, where do they come from, what they looked at, and so on. So it can be done. Talk to a techie. It will tell you. It can be done.
And a CRM stands for Customer Relationship Manager. Customer Relationship Manager. So it's like short, it's like industry speak, CRM, customer. So it's a database of your customers, of your customers and their contact information and whatever else you want, to add to that database of their information. And so Annie brought up really good points where, well, what do you think is going to happen? So, so Annie brought up really good points about cookies. So, okay. If you don't know about digital marketing, let me give you like a 30-second kind of
101.
101. So one of the reasons why Facebook is the giant that it is that Facebook, and especially when they bought Instagram, they sell advertising. And they found a really amazing way to sell advertising that looks like someone just made a post, right? So people were consuming it. So Facebook sells ads. So it's just like TV, old school TV. TV is supported by ads. So when TV was never free. The advertisers pay for the advertising, and that's what allows the TV to happen. Movies are the only thing that movies they need to come up with money and then make the movie and then make money after the movie. That's why they have like um, studios and so on and so forth. And the studios have money, and so they're making it an investment. So studios are investing and saying, okay, I think this is going to make me some money, and stuff like that. So anyway, so that is digital marketing. And Facebook was able to be this 8,000-pound gorilla because they can track you everywhere you go. Once you get on Facebook and you leave, they can follow you everywhere you go. Literally in perpetuity, like they could follow you, so they know everywhere you go, everything you touch. So can Google, and so can Apple, all of these places. So a year and a half ago, Apple changed their settings. I don't know, but I found these results on search. Look at Google. Apple changed their settings.
I love that.
Apple changed their settings, and Apple started to tout privacy. The messaging that they were giving is, you don't want to be tracked on the internet anymore. Get with the Apple phone and experience privacy. So Apple users, people who use Apple products, can opt out of being tracked by companies like Google and Facebook. First of all, Apple still has the information, and I'm pretty sure they're going to start tracking you too. So don't think Apple's not tracking you. It's just that they are in competition with Google and Facebook, and they want to be on top. It's like, these are all alpha companies, and they only want to have one alpha. So anyway, and cookies is how people were tracked on websites. So cookies, now what Annie is saying is that cookies are going away, and you can already see it, because every time you go to a website, they'll pop up and they say, will you accept our cookies? Will you reject our cookies? Will you whatever? You could reject them, accept them, whatever. And so now websites are, if you reject the cookie, they're not able to track you. So they can't. So what is retargeting? Retargeting is, I see an ad one time. I see an ad. I made some type of indication and I looked at this ad. Retargeting is that ad will continue to show me over time. I will go over here. I will go over here. I will go over here, and I'll be retargeted. And we all know why is retargeting so powerful? Because human nature, we need to see something 7 to 12 times before we even buy it. We need to see something at least 5 times before we even respond. So retargeting is very important. Because man, otherwise it's better for you to retarget 100 people than for you to keep advertising one time to 1,000 new people.
I agree. I agree entirely.
Yeah. So these things he's talking about, it's very important. Listen, I should be charging for y'all to be watching this. Like, really, we should have a master class. And I'm not saying it because sometimes when people get free information, they don't value it. It's not because of the money. It's sometimes when something is given for free, it's alive. It doesn't seem like it's like whatever. This is not anything. So people don't value it. They don't really understand, like, this is like your business. Depending on if you don't know this, you might be headed toward a cliff, and you don't even know you're headed toward a cliff. You don't even know. Like you riding high, and one day you're like, why is this happening? So people are panicking because it's gonna be different. It's not that. No, it's true. I'm telling you, Pastor, it's true, Pastor. It's true. I'm telling you, it's true. Yes, it's Pastor, it's true. They don't, if it's free, people think it's just this is whatever. This could be changing your business. Because even if you just have an awareness, once you have an awareness of something, you can start to have a strategy and how to overcome it. Yeah. Right? Because when Apple did this, everybody was scrambling, like, what are we going to do? Even Facebook's whole market share was like, what are we about to do? Why do you think that they're investing in Meta? Why do you think they're investing in the metaverse? Because they probably have some spy in Apple, and they knew Apple was going to do that, and they were like, we need to diversify. I mean, probably.
But that's the whole point of strategy, where you identify the threats. We make plans against it. If you don't know the threats that you say, you just sink and fall off the cliff. Right? If you know they're coming, then do something about them. Make a plan. Tackle them.
Man, did you see that? Identify your weakness. So it's so important. It's like man, this is deep. Like, I don't even know. Like, I'm kind of overwhelmed. This is a blessing that this is live, because you're literally seeing me get schooled. And I actually know this. Like, the funny thing is, I actually kind of know this because I'm a marketing geek, but it's still like so powerful to hear. Like, it's still like, wow, this is like interesting, because guess what? In the early 2000s, when Google, it was really cheap to advertise on Google and it was really cheap to advertise on Facebook, they changed it, and 50% of entrepreneurs went out of business. These are things you need to understand. You need to understand marketing dollars. You will not get anywhere if you're not trying to spend any money on marketing. Listen, you're not. You cannot live off of word of mouth only. Because even if
those days are gone, those days are long gone. Those days, I mean, those days are long gone. I think if there's one thing I would say, add to your strategy, I think I've learned it from Uriah, is a CRM. Like Solomon says, there's many different types out there. CRM, I used to be against CRMs because I'm thinking you're too small. Just keep a record of people that you know and your customers. But today, a CRM will do so many things. A CRM will send emails for you. A CRM will manage your ads and track who comes to your website. And so they'll do so many things for you that it helps to genuinely know who these people are. If you can spend some money, spend it there.
Excuse me, because you can do your own retargeting. And so these are business principles that you need to understand, emotional principles that you need to understand, so it can set you apart. So like, just like Annie said, if you know what's coming, you can plan for it. If you know what's coming, you can plan for it. You're not just like, oh, I don't know what's going on. Like, what should this funnel do? If you, even on like what he said, I immediately was like, oh, I need to put a pop-up on my website that when you come to my website, a pop-up pops up, and then you can just be like, hey, give me your information. I don't have a pop-up website. I don't have a pop-up. I'm like, man, I didn't get a pop-up. ASAP today. I need to do that today. Just different things.
A download, a download is equally good. A download will give you the information that you need. If you offer them a freebie on your website, you send your email address here, you fill in this short form, then I'll send you a guide or whatever you're going to send them, a discount, anything. So begin to use information collection systems, because again, you need now's the time. It's
okay. So go into information collection systems. Let's talk about that. So let's talk about. So there's many. So give us. Okay, every business is different. First of all, let's have a disclaimer. This is not marketing advice. We don't have you don't have a retainer with global.media. You don't have a retainer with Icon Life Coaching. I know, right? We don't have a retainer with that. So this is just advice, information, education, disclaimer. But so, and every business is different. Every business is unique. Every industry is different. And also, like, each person's business goals are different. So there is no one size fits all when it comes to marketing. But I do think there's pillars of truth. So give me 2 or 3 pillars of marketing that you need to do, because I love what you were saying about information systems, information collection systems. So that kind of made me think about it. So what are 2 or 3 pillars that people really need to be thinking about and doing, regardless of their industry?
The first thing is be very clear about your target audience. Who cares about what you do? Who's it for? You have to know your target audience very well. Like a friend, you have to know. You have to know when you see them who they are. And I hope I've said that correctly, in the sense that you have to recognize them. There's people on LinkedIn for a reason. They're on LinkedIn because they know that they sell to a B2B audience, business to business audience. You have to know your customers the way Facebook knows your customers. Who are they? What do they read? What do they like? Where do they spend time? And what makes them tick? When you begin to know your customers, then you can begin to at least have a way that you're going to approach them. If you know where they hang out, then obviously that's where you decide to spend your money when it comes to your marketing plan. And if it's LinkedIn, fine. If it's Facebook, so be it. So that's it. That's the biggest one of all. The second one is making sure that you have you're genuine enough to be in business to serve people. What are you going to do that others aren't doing to keep them, to attract them, and to keep them? I saw a quote somewhere that the whole idea, the best marketing strategy is to care, and it's true. If you don't care, guess what? Well, nothing's going to work. Whatever you do, so be it. They'll leave, and your money's gone, and your money's literally gone with them, literally out of the door. So those are two I would say for sure. There's many more pillars. There's many more things that you just must do. Collecting your data again. I can't say that enough. You have to look the part. You have to look trustworthy, and you have to deliver. Of course you do. And I mentioned earlier, nothing's a one-time thing. As we grow, we adapt. You make bigger plans, bigger strategies. If you achieve this year's goals, next year it's time to set bigger goals. So that's the way you grow a business. And then if you achieve that, then you get even bigger and just keep going. But you have to sit down and this is I guess the lesson for me and for all of us is that these things don't happen whilst you're firefighting. You have to take time aside to think about your business. Your business is your baby. Actually think about it. Big companies will spend a day, at least a year, if not a week a year, on team development, call it that. Where they sit down, the senior management go away, and they work on strategy. They work on planning. Our small business we never do. We're just always firefighting because things are always happening. You have to learn to, take the time, the space to think and strategize. Maybe some of the things that you see coming didn't happen, but at least you've looked into your business and thought of it like that's your baby, because that's what it is. So these are just essentials that I think we should all be doing every day. So for me personally, I spend at least an hour a day on my personal goals, and my business. Mindset is all about your personal goals, your vision, and then from there, you can make a plan for tomorrow. A lot of people will say they're too busy. You can't be too busy, because soon you have to. There's nothing left to be busy about. Strategize, talk to people, build those relationships, talk to people, and your growth will come. That's when if I could say one more, I think you mentioned pricing. Is it pricing you mentioned earlier? No, you mentioned reach earlier, right? Think more revenue. Think more revenue and profit than reach. Now, reach is good, of course, but you need reach for that. But it's about making money. It's about selling things, people paying you. And I mentioned that because that covers many things. Because it's not necessarily about selling more. Essentially, you can sell the same, but if your pricing strategy is a certain way, you can sell less and make more money. It's not like how you position yourself as a business. If you're a high-end business, a designer label, for example, Burberry, Louis Vuitton, all those type of businesses, you can sell premium products. That will bring the revenue in without you needing to be everywhere. In my world, there's only one Harrods, right? There's only one Fortnum and Masons, but they make millions, if not close to billions, because they position themselves as a premium label, the premium brand. Your local shop has to sell so much to sell one bottle of Harrods champagne. Same thing, probably. Same bottle. It just had to position themselves, as a brand. It all comes back to the strategy at the end of the day. They want to be high-end brand. We want to be low-end brands. That's what we're talking about.
Okay, so you heard Annie say that he's choosy with who he wants to work with, but Annie does have a very dynamic marketing PR firm called Global.media. He has an app. It's available on the Android store and the App Store. I mean, the Android and the Apple App Store, global.media. He has a website. What is your website?
Global.media.com. So no,
Global.
the global dot media.com.
Okay. He has a podcast that is very informative. I really enjoy his podcast a lot. That's saying something because I don't listen to business podcasts. I like to listen to storytelling and
I don't do that.
poets and
I don't do
fiction.
any of that. I talk pure business.
I do entertainment podcasts. So for me to be listening, because I read a lot of business books. So for me to be listening to a business podcast and still really enjoy it, it's really great. He was just on Roadrunner podcast for marketing. He has his own podcast, so you can check him out. You can continue to, get some of his wisdom. And then of course he works one-on-one. He works with, he has employees and works with clients, and he can help you strategize. And I would really, let me take this time to really talk to everybody, heart to heart. Let's talk heart to heart right now. And there's a democratization of our economy, and the internet has democratized commerce and made it possible for, has given a path to financial freedom through the vehicle of entrepreneurship. Now, it's not a guarantee. There's no guarantee. But if you just even think 100 years ago, 150 years ago, it just wasn't possible. But now it's possible. Like, you can start something and in 12 months be making like $30,000 a month. That's a fact. And it doesn't mean it happens for everybody. It doesn't mean it happens overnight. But what it does mean is that there is a road, there is a path that you can follow, and it's called the internet. And there's so many different things you can do and do. So, that's not what I'm trying to say. But what I am trying to say to you is that get some help. We don't know everything. We don't know everything. I have I love nails. If you want to, do my nail fund. I remember going to a girl in her parents' garage. She was in her parents' garage. She had a child as a teenager. She was in her parents' garage. She loved to do nails, and she was doing my nails. And at that point, it was kind of high. I mean, like, she was still charging kind of a lot. But now she literally has like 100,000 followers. She's on Facebook. She's in demand. I don't even think she does nails anymore. I think she just teaches people about nails. Like, she's making so much because she was able to utilize she's able to position herself to win in her industry and then be able to buy back her time. So if you are a service-based entrepreneur, you want to be able to, you need to position yourself where you don't have to constantly exchange the service for money. So you can start leveraging things like employees, leveraging, your expertise, leveraging your authority, leveraging, you can start kind of putting yourself in a different way. It doesn't mean that service businesses will disappear. They will not. As long as there are humans need services, period. Like, as long as humans let you know, as long as humans exist, we have businesses. Business can exist. But I really want to encourage everyone listening to me right now that you need to get help. You don't know everything. I don't know everything. And he doesn't know everything. And
I admit that.
And you need to get help to really work out your strategy. You yourself need to spend a lot of time thinking about your business every day. Like, you really do. But it is okay that you also start hiring help, because sometimes we talk to our friends and our family and we don't know where they are mentally. Maybe they're not into business. Maybe they're scared. Maybe they have you don't really know where your husband, wife, friend, sister, it's not their vision. It's yours. It's not a negative, but or sometimes you have the best cheerleaders. They are cheering you on. They want you to win, but they actually can't give you anything of, they can't give you strategy. They just are like, I want you to win. I want you to win. I want you to win. And they do, but they do. It's not that they don't, but they can't say, okay, this is a strategy. So you got to get help. You got to get marketing help from a professional. You got to get help from a coach. You got to get help from, and that's okay. So you can really position yourself for success. Like, seriously, and it's not, you cannot scroll through social media to get the help that you think you need, because everything you see on social media, 95% of it is not true, or is presented in a way that's designed to it's not designed. It's like, you know fast food, and they have the
Mm.
pictures in fast food, but it never actually looks like that.
It's
Most social
nutritious.
media,
It's healthy.
yes.
Clearly
It's
not.
not even just that. Like, you see a picture of the burger, and the burger looks so nice, but when you actually buy the burger, it doesn't even look like that. That's what
Mm.
most social media is. Most business social media is the picture of the fast food burger, but what you get is that's not what it is, and that's just what it is. I mean, that's just a part of it. So you need to actually work with someone that's a professional that can help you
Mm.
get there. And so I'm saying this, so if you need help with your marketing, work with a professional like any. If you need help with strategy with your marketing and PR, work with, if you have any, just launched a book for authors. He just is just launched a book publishing, I mean a book marketing. So if you are an
Yeah.
author, or you're thinking about being an author, or you are an author, or you want to be an author, man, get with any, and position yourself to win by people buying your book, but also whatever else can come from buying your book. If you need coaching, if you're a parentpreneur, so I'm a business success catalyst, and because I know that you need to do multiple things to win in business, not just one. And you heard this in our conversation. So if you're a parentpreneur, and if you have small kids, I mean, that's who I really work with: mom, dad, grandpa, whoever. I work with people with kids because it's just, having kids is like kind of a lot. But I can really coach anyone. But that's that's my ideal. That's who I talk to. But if you need that work, you can come. I coach people one-on-one. If you coach with me one-on-one, it's $10,000 for my 4-month program. You can coach with me in a group setting. It's $7,500 for a 3-month program in a group setting. And you can meet with me certain times of the day. And I say all this to say that if that's what you want, sorry, my lights went off. If that's what you want, yeah, it's not coming back on. If that's what you want, you want to invest in yourself to get your business to the next level. And so that is so important. If you, that's why I do these videos, so people can get what they need to at least get started. You can get what you need to at least get started, right? Because you can at least get something that you need to at least get started. So visit my website, www.ayagbuho.com. Visit Annie's website, global.media.com.
Yeah.
So global.media.com. Solomon says,
You see,
if you need help,
yeah,
thank you,
I
Solomon.
agree. When I
Go
say
ahead.
I'm choosing who I work with,
Annie, go ahead.
so when I say I'm choosing who I work with, essentially I'm thinking I need people who have a strategy, a plan. Because if you haven't got a strategy or a plan, then I'm going to be fighting the battle to get you to understand how we're going to get you from A to B. If someone works with you to have a strategy, then at least I know exactly where we're trying to get to by the time you get to me. And then we can just work out the methods we're going to use to achieve the goals that you've set. It's so important. A lot of people just say, I'm going west. Where's west? I'm going west. Where's west? Keep going west. You're never going to get there, are you? You need a strategy. So start there, and then go to the experts. You can't run a website, not know what church you want to put on the website. A lot of people do this every day. By the way, they really do. All you do is wasting your money. You're wasting money, literally throwing money down the drain. So talk to the right people, get a strategy in place, and then work out the other people who are actually going to deliver it on this strategy. That's what strategy is there for. So I'll leave you with
Work
that.
with the right people. Absolutely. Absolutely. So tomorrow we will be, tomorrow's Thursday. I will not be visually live on video because I have an audio event on LinkedIn on Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I will be live, and you can come visit me, but it's an audio event on LinkedIn only. So it's only going to be on LinkedIn. So right now I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook. I will not be here tomorrow. I'm not on Thursday because but you can come to LinkedIn, come to my audio event. It's 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's sponsored by Prayer Social. Solomon will be is my co-host. It's 1 hour from 1 to 2 p.m. It's going to be a great time. The topic is where if you know someone who is seeking a job or seeking clients, someone in business, and they just need some emotional support during this holiday time because maybe they're still on the search or they're, whatever. It's an emotional and mental health support session for people in that situation. That's what's going on tomorrow. But we will be back here live visually on YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook on Friday. And we'll be wrapping up our strategy. We'll be wrapping up our strategy. And so on Friday, I think we're going to be talking a little bit about automation. I'm sorry. We're going to be talking a little bit about automation strategy. We're going to be talking a little bit about automation strategy and employee strategy, because employees are the biggest flex. So we want to talk a little bit about how to strategize around employees and automation. So that's what we're going to be talking about on Friday. So I don't know if I have a guest yet or if it's just be me talking. So I'm excited for you guys. Thank you so much, Annie. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure.
I hope you guys took notes. And I hope you follow Annie. Follow him everywhere, global.media, Annie Osung on LinkedIn. Download his podcast, start listening to it, and start educating yourself. Don't just get information. Educate yourself. Don't just get information. Educate yourself. The Bible says, in all you're getting, get understanding. That's what the Bible says. In all you're getting, get understanding. You need to understand what is happening. So
get doing. Do something different. Actually do. Let us have a chat with us, or that's do something. Change something in your normal routine.
You heard it here first. Yes, you heard it here. Do something. I love you guys. I love y'all so much. Annie, stay on in the back of the studio. I love you guys so much. You can catch this replay on YouTube. Just wait 5-10 minutes. You can always catch a replay on my YouTube channel. I want you to follow my YouTube channel. I'm looking to build it at Ayegbuho. Go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the subscribe button. Let's get to 1,000. Let's get to 1,000 by my birthday. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours. Let's go. Love you guys.
Take care.